How do you view authority? We do not have in mind the authority that you might exercise over others. Rather, we are talking about the authority that others might exercise over you. Do you enjoy submitting to oversight by someone else? Or do you dislike it, chafe under it, feeling that you are being deprived of certain freedoms? It is important that we examine ourselves, especially in these days when so much is going on that can influence us toward a disregard for authority. Well, just what is going on in the world that should cause Christians to be alert and on guard? A great deal. Disrespect for authority is increasing everywhere. In colleges, high schools, and even grade schools, students are demonstrating increased rebelliousness, assaulting teachers, destroying their valuable property. Public servants, such as firemen, teachers, sanitation men, and transport workers, either strike or threaten to in complete disregard for the public welfare and safety. Minority and militant groups march, demonstrate, and riot. They insist that civil disobedience is entirely justified as a means of getting what they want. This growing disrespect for authority is not confined to a few isolated places. It's a worldwide trend. News reports make it plain that countries all around the globe are thus troubled. The United States, France, Japan, Mexico, and South American countries have furnished only a few of many recent examples. So our question, how do you view authority, is a vital one. Should we be influenced by the world's view, or do we want God's view? It will help us to get the right view of authority if we understand just why such a tremendous disrespect for authority has developed recently. Why did it happen in our generation? First, let us consider some reasons that worldly people themselves admit to. They say there are a number of factors involved and that these are related. Parents, for instance, it is agreed, have set a very poor example for their children. The parents break traffic laws and other laws. They cheat on taxes, engage in sharp business practices, and the children conclude that the wrong is not the act itself, but is in getting caught. They have followed the principle of permissiveness in raising the children, refusing to correct and discipline them, saying that that is old-fashioned. Many now agree that parents have made a mistake, but they also agree that the damage has been done. Then there are many national leaders who have set poor examples with respect to telling the truth. Many say that their representatives in government haven't told them the truth concerning what has been going on in places like Vietnam, elsewhere, and thus there has developed what has been called a credibility gap. The ordinary citizen reasons that if the nation's leaders do not respect the truth, why should we? And so disrespect develops. Others who are normally looked up to as good examples are not providing that good example. Policemen have been proved to be corrupt. Politicians take bribes. Big businessmen advertise falsely. And the clergy who should teach the Bible and peace are at the front of many marches and riots. All of this has resulted in a steady lessening of respect for long-established basic values. Now, these are the things that any thinking person can see. But are these the real reasons for the increase in lawlessness? No, they are not. The Bible gives the real reasons. It says that when Adam and Eve sinned under the influence of Satan, they lost perfection, and they lost it for all of us. Ever since the disobedience of Adam and Eve, the trend for the human race has been downward. The fallen flesh, without restraints, inclines toward greater wrongdoing, just like a boulder gathers speed rolling downhill. That is one reason that disrespect for authority has increased. Another reason the Bible gives is that Satan and his demons, cast out of heaven, are especially active in influencing all people wrongly now. After describing Satan's great fall from heaven at Revelation 12:9, the 12th verse says this: "Woe for the earth and for the sea, because the devil has come down to you having great anger, knowing he has a short period of time." Yes, he is misleading as many as possible in a wrong course, and he is angry and active, knowing he has only a short period of time to accomplish this evil work. Then a third reason the Bible gives is that man does not have the capacity or the ability to govern himself. Jeremiah 10:23 says, "To earthling man his way does not belong. It does not belong to man who is walking even to direct his steps." Man must have a superior guide, Jehovah himself. So, as man ignores God, he becomes more lawless. These are the real reasons for increased rebelliousness today. So, Christians will have to ask themselves, if Satan is the real cause for the disrespect for authority today, is that the view that I want? Lovers of God will not adopt that view. The Bible provides an entirely different view of authority. It says that all in God's arrangement of things, except Jehovah God himself, are subject to someone, and further, that it is a very happy arrangement. The Apostle Paul sums it up very nicely at 1 Corinthians 11:3, when he says, "But I want you to know that the head of every man is the Christ. In turn, the head of a woman is the man. In turn, the head of the Christ is God." It is just as simple as that. Everyone but God himself has a head or someone over him. And in this, Jehovah is a God of order, a God of organization, and a God of peace. Note what is said at 1 Corinthians 14:33 and 40. "For God is a God not of disorder, but of peace. But let all things take place decently and by arrangement." He has an organization of invisible spirit creatures working very closely under him, which the prophet Daniel had the privilege of seeing in a miraculous vision. At Daniel 7:9 and 10, he describes these, saying, "There were 1,000 thousands that kept ministering to him, and 10,000 times 10,000 that kept standing right before him." So, God can govern heavenly things. That God knows how to govern or exercise authority over earthly things was shown in the nation of Israel. Jehovah gave them a perfect set of laws, and they prospered, and they were happy when obedient to that perfect authority. But God foretold something even better for us, for this generation. Daniel 2:44 says that it would be a kingdom that would never be destroyed. Jesus, in giving his model prayer, said that that kingdom would bring God's will to the earth just as it is exercised in heaven. Christians know that that heavenly kingdom has now been set up, and that Christ, as king, is now ruling in the midst of his enemies. That kingdom is represented on earth today by the faithful and discreet slave class foretold at Matthew 24:45 through 47. All over the earth today, true Christians are being gathered into congregations with servants appointed to positions of responsibility by that slave to care for the needs of the brothers. Is it a good arrangement? Yes, it is. It is a loving arrangement provided by a loving God. It means that someone cares for you. All of our experiences have shown that this headship arrangement is beneficial. It has brought happiness, peace, and growth in God's visible organization. The high peak of spiritual prosperity in the organization today proves this. You have experienced it at this assembly. We are in subjection to God and his servants, and yet we are extremely happy. We are obedient to headship, and yet we enjoy freedom. Jehovah does indeed know how to exercise authority and to govern. But how does God's arrangement for governing work out in the everyday life of the Christian today? We are not always at the Kingdom Hall or in assemblies like this with just our brothers. No, when we leave, we realize we are still living under an old, unrighteous system of things. So how do we view these authorities? Jehovah has not left us without guidance in this respect. He takes into consideration the present secular or Caesar authorities. Note Mark 12:17. Jesus then said, "Pay back Caesar's things to Caesar, but God's things to God." Romans 13:1 and 2 says, "Let every soul be in subjection to the superior authorities, for there is no authority except by God." The existing authorities stand placed in their relative positions by God. Therefore, he who opposes the authority has taken a stand against the arrangement of God. Christians, therefore, obey all of Caesar's laws, national and local, not in conflict with God's. It is true, worldly governments will be destroyed at Armageddon, but we should be in proper subjection to them now. We are not anarchistic. Never by word or deed do we lend support to those showing disrespect for governmental authority. We stay out of troubled areas. We don't even get close to marches and riots. In fact, the Apostle Paul even said that we might pray in behalf of worldly rulers on certain proper occasions. Note 1 Timothy 2:1 and 2. I therefore exhort, first of all, that supplications, prayers, intercessions, offerings of thanks be made concerning all sorts of men, concerning kings and all those who are in high station. Why? Paul continues, in order that we may go on leading a calm and quiet life with full godly devotion and seriousness. In view of this, how can anyone say that Jehovah's people do not respect governmental authority today? Then, Christian parents and children show respect for and appreciation for teachers and other school authorities and educational arrangements. We need not join their organizations, but we can show appreciation for the teachers' problems and cooperate in getting children to obey and make the best use of the time they are in school. Let us look in on a scene as a Christian father helps his 15-year-old son who seems to have a problem as he comes home from school.
How'd things go in school today, Wally?
Oh, all right, I guess.
What do you mean, all right, I guess? You don't sound too enthusiastic. Something go wrong?
Oh, not really. I always enjoyed Mr. Richardson's classes so much, but not today.
All right, you want to tell me what happened in class today?
Well, he started to teach the evolution theory in his biology class. It just got me so disgusted listening to them talk about it. I couldn't see any reason for taking any part in it, so I decided not even to listen to the stuff. I guess I wasn't paying very much attention. He got pretty angry about it, and he told me how he felt in front of the whole class. Boy, Dad, I sure wish I could change to some other course.
Well, it's true, Wally. Evolution is a God-dishonoring doctrine, completely contrary to what we know to be true. But yet it seems to me that there's another Bible principle that you're overlooking. That's the principle of respect for school authority. You know, Wally, if you show disrespect and a rebellious attitude every time something contrary to Bible truth is taught in school, why, you're going to be in turmoil all the time. Don't you think it would be better, Wally, if you'd listen respectfully to what is said in class? Then if an opportunity presents itself, why, you could tell what the Bible has to say on the subject. Then if there are opportunities or it calls upon you to have a part in the discussion, why, you can always quote the book, say the textbook says so-and-so. If there's something that you wonder about, when you come home, why, you and I can discuss that together. In this way, you'll add to your knowledge, you'll be strengthening your faith, you'll lead a calmer life in school. What do you think, Wally?
Well, Dad, you're right as usual. But I still have one problem. I got to get back on good terms with Mr. Richardson. I wonder if I should apologize.
What would you apologize for, Wally?
I would apologize for the way I acted, Dad, not for what I believe.
Well, that sounds real good to me, Wally. In fact, I think it would do a lot of good. I can see you have the proper view of the matter now.
There's another important area where Christians show respect for authority, and this is in the employer-employee relationship. Colossians 3:22 and 23 says, "You slaves, be obedient in everything to those who are your masters in a fleshly sense, not with acts of eye service as men-pleasers, but with sincerity of heart, with fear of God. Whatever you are doing, work at it whole-souled as to Jehovah and not to men." Christians always give fully to their employer what is due him. They do not steal nor loaf. They give a full day's work in harmony with the agreement made when employed. They find joy in accomplishment. Why not take an interest in the job and, in fact, master it? Become highly efficient, and this will add to your self-respect. The truth will be recommended by your honesty and by your giving even more than just enough. Now let us listen as a young brother talks to his congregation servant about his employment.
You know, I sure did appreciate your comments on the Watchtower study this afternoon, Brother Kaczynski. It's apparent that you had your lesson well prepared. I believe that you've been doing a little more extra studying, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I have a new job, and it gives me more time to study. You know, I've really been taking advantage of this opportunity to do more reading.
I didn't know that you had a new job. What are you doing now?
Well, a few weeks ago, I took a job with the Jones Restaurant and Supply Company as a delivery man. A salesman takes the orders, and then I make deliveries by truck. Well, between deliveries, I park occasionally and study, so I get quite a bit of reading done throughout the week that way. But once in a while, my conscience bothers me a little, though. What do you think, Brother Overseer? Is it okay to do this since I'm apparently benefiting so much from it?
Well, now that you've asked, I'll be glad to tell you what the Bible says, and then you can decide. Here at Titus, the 2nd chapter, the 9th and 10th verse, it says, "Let slaves be in subjection to their owners in all things, and please them well, not talking back, not committing theft, but exhibiting good fidelity to the full, so that they may adorn the teachings of our Savior God in all things." Now, when you took this job, Jay, you made certain agreements with your employer. For example, you agreed on what your salary would be, didn't you?
Yes, that's true.
Did your employer also agree that you could park the truck once in a while to do some personal reading?
Well, no, we didn't exactly talk about that.
And when you get back to the warehouse early, what does your employer expect you to do? Go home or work until a certain time?
I work around the warehouse until quitting time, which is 5 o'clock. I think I see what you're getting at, Brother Overseer. Paul wrote Titus that slaves or employees should not commit theft. And if I take care of personal matters on the boss's time, I would actually be stealing from him. I never thought of it that way before, but it's true.
Yes, that's right, Jay. And did you notice what Paul said was the real reason for being honest with your employer?
I think it had something to do with God. What did it say again?
Here in verse 10, so that they, that is, slaves or employees, may adorn the teaching of our Savior God in all things. In other words, when the Christian is fair with his employer, it reflects well on his God, Jehovah.
I'm sure glad I got to talk with you about this, and I think from now on I'll be able to schedule my personal study on my own time, just like the other brothers do.
In a world where disrespect for law and order is rapidly increasing, how grateful we are that we have God's view, the right view of authority. Christians give evidence that they have this proper view of authority in all aspects of their lives. This is true in the home, at their place of employment, in the schools, in the congregation, and in their relationship with the Caesar government. Respect is a basic quality in the Christian personality. Jehovah requires it. We do not have long to wait for the time when Satan, his demons, and all irreformable humans will be gone. Why not plan now to be among the respectful survivors? Embracing the Christian view of authority will not only bring happiness and contentment now, but will train you for life in a new system where all authority will be exercised perfectly.